points which I consider somewhat important. We have come to a hallowed place of Gandhiji. Jawaharlal Nehru said, where he walked was hallowed ground, where he sat was shrine. I have the same sentiments about Prajapada Brahma. Where he walked was hallowed ground, where he sat was shrine. And he sat here, and this is shrine. But we have come to a university, the Ishwariya Vishwavidyalaya, a spiritual university. Some people may wonder, what is a spiritual university? There are myopics who cannot comprehend what is not commonplace. They begin to wonder whether a university must have colleges, must have classrooms, must have teachers, must have 10 to 5, and then there must be strikes by students, and then alone it becomes a university. It's a terrible pity that those myopics sometimes are in key positions of authority. What I would like to say is, we must break, so far as this concept of a university is concerned, we must break conceptually from traditional notions and feel free to define our own concept of a university, when alone a spiritual university will find its appropriate place. Education without spiritual foundation is like zoological animals which can perform circus when the trainer with the whip is nearby. There can never be education without spiritual foundation. And if there are any persons who have degrees and diplomas and super degrees and all that I can say is, they are animals kept under restraint because there is somebody to punish them. That is not education. Education comes from within. Educate means to draw forth from within. Literally, it means to draw forth. And that is why Vivekananda said, education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. All of us are perfect. We don't require a computer. We have perfection. But this perfection is material and spiritual, ethical, moral, and all other, cultural. In all these dimensions, we are perfect. But this perfection has got to be manifested. Therefore, you require, for material education, we must have colleges where things are taught to you. For moral education, you must have classes. For professional, for instance, for lawyers, we have professional courses and they have to answer tests in my time. But now that has been removed with the result that lawyers are on strike very frequently. You require the inner being properly trained, not merely in material matters but also in spiritual matters. A new synthesis has got to develop. This world is in chaos. India is not stable. The whole world is not stable. America is not stable. The Soviet Union of yesterday is not stable. The Middle East is not stable. There is instability writ large. How can we bring stability? How can we bring tranquility to this universe? It is possible not by mere material aggrandizement. Material aggrandizement will only add to the appetites of people, to the consumerist appetites, to loot, to plunder, to grab. Grab whatever you can. That is material culture without spiritual or ethical foundation. So we require along with material advancement, also spiritual foundation. And that very important component of education is supplied here and here alone. Please realize that no education is complete without a spiritual component. If anyone thinks that there can be education without spiritual basis, all that I can say is, thinking of you, I pity you because you belong to the zoo. Please realize that we have got to have the inner strength which can be nurtured, cultured, cultivated and brought up only through spiritual training. And that is precisely the important objective of this spiritual university. We have other teachings here, computer courses, other diploma courses, various other things are being taught here. But primarily, the basis for human advance, namely spirituality, that is the foundation that Mount Abu represents. Don't be surprised that when I speak in terms of meditation, it has nothing to do with education. Meditation is absolutely essential for education. I remember going to Boston some years ago when there was a seminar, and I was there at the instance of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and at that seminar, a person from Harvard who had obtained a doctorate on transcendental meditation had come to participate. And initially I wondered, can there be a doctorate on transcendental meditation? That gentleman came and presented his case. He said, I have got my doctorate from the Harvard University, which is the Mecca. The highest that we think of is Harvard. From Harvard, he got a degree, a PhD for transcendental meditation. Why should we not think in terms of a doctorate for Raj Yoga and meditation from the Ishwariya Vishwavidyalaya? We cannot accept obscurantism, sometimes bureaucratic obscurantism, sometimes pedagogic primitivism. These prevent our seeing the wider horizon. Education, the sky is the limit. We have got open universities. 50 years ago, if you had asked any professor whether you can have an open university, he would have said, you are mad. Today, open universities have become the rule of life. There is the Indira Gandhi Open University. In Andhra Pradesh, there is the Open University. I think in many other places, many other parts of the country, we have open universities. Today, we have the United Nations, UNESCO, starting universal universities. And from India, I know a distinguished member of that university's board of directors. So the UNESCO is starting universities, some in Tokyo, some in some other place, and all persons from the world can go in. You can understand how the concept of education has been developing. It is so wide. As I said, the sky is the limit. In fact, the sky is the limit is not the limit, because Paramatma is high beyond the skies. Everywhere, conceptually, man is advancing, and therefore we cannot blinker our ideas about education into some classroom. And where there is no classroom, there is no education. It is a pity that sometimes people are taking such wrong notions. Now apply it to jurisprudence. If you are told about Om Shanti jurisprudence, there are many people who may laugh, many people who may not grapple with the idea, many people who feel what exactly is comprehended. Law is geared to order. My friend Lodha has written a book on jurisprudence which he titled as Flames, Fumes and Fires. Is that right? Fires. Now, because the world is aflame, the world is on fire, we require firefighters. We require to calm down people. We have got to have inner peace, tranquility. We must have the art of living and the science of being. The science of being is spirituality. So it is very important that jurisprudence must have a spiritual orientation. Sans spiritual orientation, jurisprudence is a matter of books and legislations and corpus juris secundum, nothing else. The lawyer argues cases, the judge pronounces judgments. Sometimes it takes years to pronounce judgments, that's by the way, and lawyers argue for years. All these things take place. Is this what we want? Or should we have the policeman and the black cat? That is not law. Law is the inner being regulated by certain fundamental rules of existence. The Creator has created. The creativity in us must therefore rise to the new challenges of the times. And that can be had only if we have a spiritual dynamics of jurisprudence. It is this new spiritual dynamism of jurisprudence which takes on the oriental expression which is so innate, so natural, so profoundly deep in the soil of India. Om Shanti jurisprudence. Om. When Dadi says Om and asks you all to join in the chorus, Om, it is not mere noise. It is not even not sound. It is the profound expression of creation. Do you feel Shanti? What is meant by Shanti? Shanti again is law in its profoundest depths. Law is not something which is legislated. It is not even mere common law. Law really means that you have the law of your being, which again takes you to the law of the spirit. Because essentially, I am the spirit. Jurisprudence must, like other sciences, it is the science of being, as I told you. It has to ask this, it asks you, how are you going to have order when people can fight, when people will quarrel, when people commit crimes? How are you producing order? That order cannot come with policemen. That order cannot be generated by prison walls. Because from within prison walls they can commit crime. You require a transformation of the personality of the human being. That transformation is precisely possible only by meditational therapy. And that is one of the laws of being. That is why I call it Om Shanti jurisprudence or spiritually oriented jurisprudence. Let us not fight shy of expressions. The United States, Harvard, if you go to Harvard and find out what they are teaching, they are all very unconventional. Go to Yale, to Harvard, to Stanford, you find many different things happening. Go to Oxford, Cambridge. Here sitting in an age-old country with medievalism and colonialism still oppressing us, we are thinking of education means only classroom, professors, teachers, strikes, and holidays, summer vacation, and that kind of thing. And jurisprudence means a judge with a rope sitting, and then lawyers arguing endlessly, and judgments never forthcoming, and litigations continuing forever. It is not that. We are thinking of a more refined world. It is this perception, this cosmic perception, this divine perception, that struggle has to begin for a new jurisprudence. The old jurisprudence has failed us. In fact, Lord Denning, one of the greatest judges the world has seen in recent times, Lord Denning says in his family story, one of his beautiful books is The Family Story. There Lord Denning says, one of the mistakes that I made was that during my college days I learned jurisprudence, Austinian theory of jurisprudence. The Austinian theory has nothing to do with morality. The Austinian theory is the law is made by parliament, it is enforced by the judge and by the prison and the policeman. That is, there is a sanction for the law, physical sanction for the law, and people obey because they are afraid. That is sensory in character. That is the kind of jurisprudence. He says, no, that is wrong. I made a mistake. Morality is the essence. Ethics is the essence. We go deeper because we are in India. We have 5,000 years of culture. And so we say spirituality. It was mentioned here by my friend Lodha, Ganga and Yamuna. I would say Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. You may not see Saraswati, but that is the subterranean sustenance of all our culture. So spiritualized Saraswati transformed into jurisprudence is what I would call Om Shanti jurisprudence. For that, we must prepare an action plan. A primer is necessary. An explanation of what Om Shanti jurisprudence is like has to be given to the world. And then there will be catalysis, that is catalytic operations. Many will contribute new ideas. Let us make this the subject for discussion. Not merely here, but in every center. There are 80 countries, 85 countries where there are Brahmakumaris. Their centers are there. There are law lords and lords in England who are participating in their operations, in their discussions, in their centers. They will all contribute. And in the fullness of time, we will be able to tell the world, oh world, you need not be in chaos. You will be very orderly. And that is what we call cosmic light emanating from here. And that can be had through law, which we call Om Shanti jurisprudence. It is the science whereby the inner being of a human being is transformed in such manner that whatever he does after meditational techniques and other learning, whatever he does will be the right thing to do. That will be a fraternity. Our constitution, the Indian constitution, speaks of fraternity. True fraternity can come only with Om Shanti jurisprudence. Let us be worthy pioneers in this field, that you will be written, you will never be forgotten in history, in the history of the world. Here in Mount Abu began a stream from a source, and that source is spiritualized jurisprudence. Let us go forward. Thank you.